and in this video, I thought I might share some facts about snakes with you guys. I hope that you reptile lovers out there enjoy this video. This is a very unpopular opinion, but snakes just happen to be one of my favorite animals. And I know that sounds a little crazy, but I can remember being like 3 or 4 years old, and my parents would take me to the pet store, and I would go pass all the puppies and the kittens and the birds and guinea pigs and all that sort of thing, and I would want to go hold a snake. Excuse me, I've just always been like that. I really love these animals. I have a respect for them, and as you can see here, I even have one of my own. I got Bendy at PetSmart. She was like a tiny bit over a foot long when I got her. She was just a baby. And hold on. Okay, sorry, I know that was loud. Oops, she's crawling on the table. And so, she's a big girl now, and she is probably my favorite pet out of the ones I have. And when I'm like at school or something, and people are like, "Oh, do you have pets?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I start going through the list, and when I get to I have a snake, people are like, oh. Most of the time, I've met a couple people who love snakes just as much as I do, which honestly, I love that. I don't think these guys deserve the reputation that they get. They're not all dangerous. Some of them are, of course, but with snakes like Bendy here, your dog could hurt you more than she could. And that sounds crazy, but look at her head. Look how tiny. I fed this girl, okay? She's just big enough to eat a baby mouse. Nothing bigger. So, if she wanted to bite me, she could, obviously. But if it would do, like, if my dog, you guys have probably all seen my dog, Fozzie, if he decided he didn't like me and that he wanted to hurt me, he could. If she decided she wanted to hurt me, she really couldn't do anything. And when you think about it, that actually makes a lot of sense about a lot of snakes. Non-venomous, small species like this couldn't do you as much damage as a dog or a cat could. And that's actually what got my dad to agree to letting me have one, because he realized that that is actually a pretty good point. So, now for some facts about snakes. Most snakes love to swim. Pythons and boas and anacondas in particular essentially. They do not have venom. No species of python on Earth is venomous. There are Burmese pythons, which are commonly kept as pets. Some of them are brown and almost like a leopard print. Others are like a pale yellow and white. Those are species of Burmese pythons, and they are commonly kept as pets. And then there is ball pythons. They are also commonly kept as pets. They are a brown leopard print like snake as well. But they don't grow to huge giant lengths like the Burmese pythons do. They only get 4 or 5 feet long, about as long as a corn snake, but they just get bigger around. Their heads are bigger, their bodies are fatter, like about that big, and while bendy's is like this big. And just that kind of thing. They get bigger in that sense. I would really like to have a ball python, but I don't want to, since they do get rather large, I don't want to get one because of my little dog and my bird. And, you know, if the snake were to escape its cage, which is highly unlikely but not impossible, that could be very bad for my smaller animals. So I don't think that's a good idea, but, you know, there are also carpet pythons. They are native to Australia. They are not venomous, but they are constrictors. Constrictors also have very, very sharp teeth. They don't have venom, but they have very sharp teeth that could easily draw blood, but it's not going to hurt you. Commonly in my area, we see black snakes, garter snakes. Corn snakes live in the wild as well, but in the wild they are more commonly known as red rat snakes. I was hiking and I found a large, about 5 or 6 foot long black snake. And don't do this at home because I know how to handle snakes. I'm not necessarily a professional, but I am experienced. But don't just try this. I picked up the black snake when I found it while I was hiking so that I could move it off the trail because the people that were with me were afraid of it. And so I moved it away from them. But never ever pick up a wild snake. Don't do that. It's not safe. The only reason I did it was because of course, like I said, I am experienced in snake handling and I know what I'm doing. And B, I knew for sure that it was a non-venomous snake. Black snakes are actually good for the environment because they eat mice and rats and things like that that could become a nuisance. So that they're actually good to have around. They can't hurt you. They have no interest in hurting you. Now, also in my area, we have dangerous venomous snakes, such as the copperhead and rattlesnakes. These guys can hurt you, and they've got a nasty attitude too. Copperheads often get mixed up with corn snakes. And I'm gonna tell you guys a few ways that you could tell the difference. For one, look at Bendy's head. You see how it's kind of an oval shape? Well, a copperhead has a diamond or triangle shaped head. Also, you can see her eyes. Her pupils are circular, they're round. Copperheads have cat-like pupils that are slits. So those are a few ways to tell the difference. Obviously, a rattlesnake has that telltale rattle on its tail, but sometimes non-venomous snakes will rattle their tail against dry leaves. Sorry about that, guys, my heater turned on. Non-venomous snakes sometimes, and she does it sometimes too, when they're angry or scared, they will rattle their tail really fast against dry leaves to trick predators into thinking that they are a venomous copperhead when they're really not. Then, of course, there is the black mamba and green mamba. These guys, you don't have to worry about them. They live in, I'm actually not sure, but I know they don't live in the States. They are tropical snakes, and I think they probably live in Australia too. The black mamba is the most venomous snake on Earth. You don't want to mess with those guys. You definitely don't want to find yourself in a confrontation with a black mamba or a green one. Now, one of my personal favorite types of snake is the green tree python, also called the emerald tree boa. These are a non-venomous python boa. They've got two different names, it's the same snake. They live in tropical regions and they are non-venomous, and I think they're just so beautiful. They are a bright green with some little white patches, and they are just so pretty, and I love them so much. I think it would be really cool to have one as a pet because they are just so cool. Hey girl. Hey girl. Turn around, you can see your face. Oh, she's gonna be camera shy. Where you going? Now we're gonna talk about some common misconceptions about snakes. As a snake owner, some of the things that I get so tired of hearing are, is it poisonous? Let me clear up something. When you say if something is poisonous, it means if you eat it, you die or get sick. If something is venomous, it means if it bites you, it hurts you, okay? Like a mushroom that you eat and it makes you sick, that's poisonous. But if she's staring at me, if a snake bites you and you get sick, that's venomous. So just clear that up. And I always hate it when people ask me if bendy is venomous, because it's actually illegal to own a venomous snake. You have to have a permit. What are you doing? You want your chin rubbed? This is her favorite thing in the world right here. Having her chin rubbed. Anyway, I hate it when people ask me that because it's not even legal to own a venomous snake. And I wouldn't, even if it was, because that's dangerous. Another one, a lot of people think that snakes are slimy. They're not. That's worms. Snakes are very smooth and soft to the touch. It's like touching polished marble, except a little softer. They're not slimy or unpleasant to touch at all. Very graceful. Let me think. And people ask me, does she bite? Well, she's never bitten anyone, but she could. But that doesn't mean she's a monster, because any animal could bite you, you know? Your dog could bite you. Your cat could bite you. Anything could bite you. And snakes are no different. But that doesn't make them any more, it's okay. That doesn't make them any more dangerous or awful than other animals, because they could bite you just as easily as literally any other animal could. see some more. I mean, the biggest thing about snakes that is just misled is that they are just these evil monsters, and they're not. They're just animals, you know. It always gets on my nerves so much when I see people so horribly terrified of snakes that they just freak out at the sheer mention of them.